Good afternoon, everyone. I, Professor Darit Nayak, Assistant Professor at R.V. Patel and V.L. Shah College, Amroli, with my fellow coordinator of this session, Dr. Ritesh Agrawal, Principal of Gajera School, welcomes you all on the fifth day of this International Faculty Development Program, jointly organized by the HRD Department of VNSU and J.Z. Shah Arts and H.P. Desai Commerce College. I'm so excited to be here today and to have the opportunity to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Susil Chaurasia. Dr. Susil is a postdoctoral fellow at Dr. J. Herbert Smith Center for Technology, Management, and Entrepreneurship, University of New Brunswick, Canada. He received his MBA and PhD from University of Lucknow, India in 2009 and 2015 respectively. He is having 15 years of blended experience in industry and teaching. He has also worked as faculty in the marketing area with NIMS University, Symbiosis International University, Tolani Institute of Management Studies. So he's having a vast experience in teaching also. His research areas are a sustainable business model, sustainability, entrepreneurship, channel relationship, technology adoption, etc. His work has been published in so many reputed journals also. In fact, he received 25th Amroli Literary Award for Excellence in 2018 in Outstanding Paper category from Amroli Publications. Recently, he received 1 million Canadian dollar to extend his research on business model innovation in the electric utility sector. So, on a final note, Sir is a fascinating individual, and we are grateful for his presence among us today. Sir is going to share his knowledge about qualitative research. So, without further wait, please join me, everyone. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Susil Chaurasia for today's session. Welcome, sir.
Hi, there is a thanks a lot. So we just got 2 hours. Yes. So what we are going to do is, without wasting much of our time, what we are going to do is start our session. Just okay. So we just have 2 hours. So what we are going to do is we are just going to very brief. We are going to discuss bibliometric and content analysis using VOSweaver. I have given a link yesterday, so some of you might have downloaded the software. If you have not downloaded, do not worry, because we just have 2 hours. So in 2 hours, we are just going to understand some of the things which I'm going to share from my side, and maybe if time permit, we will do some hands-on, or else you can do with the same afterwards. So qualitative analysis is a very vast area. So there are number of methods of qualitative analysis. There are hundreds of tools for qualitative analysis. So for this session, we are just going to confine ourselves with bibliometric and content analysis with the help of VOSweaver. If time permits, I will show you how you can extend the VOSweaver analysis with the help of diction. So we are just going to confine with respect to VOSweaver. So once we talk about content analysis, so any type of data that you're going to have qualitative, say for example text, or it can be a Facebook review or a Twitter review, or data from a qualitative interview, say for example, or say for example you are going to have some text from any book or articles that you need to analyze. So those all comes under the content analysis. So you have any type of content, qualitative content in front of you, and you need to do an analysis for it. You can do it with the help of content analysis. And when it comes of bibliometric, so bibliometric is more of a quantitative evaluation of scientific articles and publications. So say for example, if we have 200 or 300 articles details in front of us, uh, say for example, I want to do research in the area of blockchain and higher education. So I just want to see that how blockchain can be used in higher education institutions. So if I want to do a research in blockchain and higher education, that how these two things are linked, then once I'm going to search for, I'm going to get thousands of articles. Say for example, if I get 1,000 articles, then this I need some support to do a analysis of those quantitative evaluation of those scientific articles which is in front of me. Say for example, I got 200 or 300 articles. So right, it's just like once we get our once we were doing our PhD, we want to do a literature review. At that literature review, the first thing that you want to do is you have 200 or 300 or 500 articles within that area in which you want to do your PhD. And I have the detailed summary of those all 200 or 300 articles, but I want to do a literature reviews. And some you can read those 200 articles. Say for example, once you are or you were doing your PhD, but I need how can we trust that the analysis or the summary that you have done from your literature review is trustable or validated, say for example. So, because even the best of the analysis you are going to do manually, say for example, it cannot be trusted or with respect to uh, the validation part, that whatever analysis you have done, if somebody else in other part of the world is going to do the same analysis with that 200 articles, is going to have the same type of results as you got. So for which that is a bibliometric analysis, that how can we assure that the analysis that we are going to do have some quantifiable background for it. So that's the basic premises of bibliometric analysis. So in brief, bibliometric is the analysis of all previous work within a particular area, and content analysis is any analysis of text or uh, Facebook posts. So what we are going to do today in class is I'm just going to take two examples, and I'm just going to see that how we can do a bibliometric analysis and content analysis with the help of VOSWeaver in both the cases. Say for example, this is an Airbnb. What I did, I have downloaded this random file from Reddit. So this is an Airbnb review. Say for example, every time a customer goes to Airbnb and he book a apartment or a book a place, and once he leaves, he gives some feedback. So once this is a feedback for an Airbnb place, and you're going to see that this is a feedback of more than 2,000 customers. So around 2,000 customers has given their feedback on how the apartment was. Great experience. Jason was a responsive with everything, helpful. This place was amazing. Me and my girlfriend had a great time. So it's just like that. This is a random review of 2,000 customer who stayed in an Airbnb apartment. So I need some support of a tool who can do a content analysis for this. Say, for example, if you are Airbnb or if you are the owner of that apartment, you need to see that how you can improve over a period of time. So if I'm able to analyze this uh, text of 2,000 customers, so I can find out that what are the things I need to improve on for better customer experience. Okay. And so this is we can say is a part of content analysis, that this is a text, somebody has written something on Airbnb website, and we just need to make a content analysis of it. Similarly, Similarly, this is a Scoopus download for blockchain and education. Say, I just want to see that how blockchain can be used in higher education institution. So what I did, I opened Scoopus and just typed that blockchain and education. So the moment I want to do a PhD, or I want to do I want to write a review article on blockchain and education, I typed on Scoopus, and this is a 527 documents which I got with respect to blockchain and education. And now again is the same problem which in case of the Airbnb. This is 527 documents. Say if I want to do a PhD in blockchain and education, or I want to write a review article on blockchain and education, I so this Excel sheet consists of the abstract and all the other details of all 527 articles. So the first thing that you can do is definitely read all those articles. Definitely, we are just going to read all the prominent articles in this 527, which got higher citation, to get a idea. But I need some support, some tool which can do a preliminary analysis of these 527 articles and give me a summary report after it, that how blockchain and education over a period of time moved, what are the basic themes in these 527 articles, what are the common themes in this. So I just want to classify in for some of the parameters with the help of a tool for these 527 articles, and then use our judgment how to proceed. So this is bibliometric analysis, where we have a set of articles and we just need to do a analysis for it. I hope many of you must have was on your laptop. So what I'm going to do now is very briefly go through some of the theory part or some of the practice part, and then we are going to shift to these two. So today's session, what we are going to do, blockchain in education, say for example, and a text of Airbnb. So we are just going to switch between these two examples so that it could be easy for us to understand. And maybe if time permits in the end, we are just going to discuss your examples and how we can proceed with that. Okay, so those who have used Scoopus in past, but those who have not, so I'm just going to take you to a brief tour on how to handle Scoopus, and then we are going to do it live. So once you're going to open Scoopus, you're going to find this page. And say, for example, I just want to find something on blockchain. So I typed blockchain. And I just want to find blockchain had a vast application across sectors. So I just want to find blockchain uses in education, say for example. So I've typed blockchain and education. If you're just going to see it over here, I put inverted comma in blockchain and education, although it is not necessary. Generally what happens that it's just like how a search engine works, that if you got two strings together, say for example, I have to find blockchain in education all together in the same line. So I will put inverted comma, because if I will put blockchain in education, then the platform will find blockchain separately and education separately. So I will get thousands of articles of blockchain and thousands of articles of education. So generally what happens that if you put inverted comma, blockchain in education, inverted comma, so it will find only those articles in which blockchain and education both are present together. It's just like any search engine works. So once we are going to type blockchain and education, so this is how the interface would be that we will have, say, 150 documents of blockchain and education. So once we are going to have 150 documents, what you can do is, once we have now 150, 200 documents is something good. But sometimes, say for example, you are doing a research in a very generic area. Say for example, 2 years back, I started doing research something on multi-generational workforce. And now this multi-generational workforce is something I was a part of team where we were doing research on multi-generational workforce. Just I will send you that article on the post after a few minutes. So I was doing research on multi-generational workforce. So if you're going to see multi-generational workforce, that is a very old topic. Say, for example, the first article got published in late 1990s. So now I got thousands of articles for 20 years. So if you are getting 100, 200 papers is good. But sometimes what happens that if you're getting 1,000, 2,000 paper, then the analysis will be very complex to interpret. So in that case, you can have some refinement. Say, for example, Scoopus gives you a lot of options to refine. Say, for example, one of the best thing that I can suggest while you are refining your search is we can confine ourselves to only journal articles. Because if you're going to see here the document type, once you're going to type even on Google Scholar something on your area, we are going to find journal articles, you're going to find books, you're going to find conference paper. So you're going to find n number of such document types. So generally what we do, once we are going to find in Scoopus and you're going to find 1,000 articles, and I want to make it to 200 or 300 because that's the right size, say for example. So what we do is we just go for articles, journal publications. Because, and why we go for journal publications? Because many of the conferences are not peer reviewed, many of the books are not peer reviewed. So generally what happens that if you're doing a lot of analysis and making a conclusion based on books or conference paper, it's very difficult to defend your proposition. So if you have journal articles and you defend your proposition based on journal articles, so it becomes easier to defend our propositions. So once you are going to refine to it, you can further reduce the number of articles if you get 1,000 articles. And once I am able to get those all articles, I can do a CSV export. CSV export is a Excel extension, say for example, and I can do a CSV export like that. And once you want to do a CSV export, it is going to ask you all the extension. And I just ticked on everything. So now you can see that author ID, document title, year, source title, volume, issue, pages, then affiliation, publisher, editor, abstract, funding details, everything is going to be in front of. We'll just try once and then I will move forward.
Sir, is there any problem, sir?
Actually, I need to share some of the files, but I'm posting on the chat. It's not getting communicated via chat. I don't know why. So do I email you those Excel files? And if you got any email where you are connected with all the participants, you can email them. Okay, I'm able to post one PDF file, but not the Excel file. It's fine. It's fine. I will email you. Now see, this is the Excel file. Once we are going to download it from Scoopus, is going to be in front of us. So now if you're going to see, you can see it. The first paper is the author's is given, the author ID, the title of the paper, the volume, issue, page start, end date, affiliation, fine. And the most important thing is the abstract. So now this abstract is like a full-fledged abstract from the paper which got downloaded over here. And now if you're going to see this abstract is a big abstract, say for example 300 words or 500 words. And now I got 500 words or 300 words multiplied by 500 papers. So I got huge text in front of us to analyze. So I need some support of a tool which can help me in doing the analysis for the same. Fine. Any questions so far with respect to the basic premise of what exactly content analysis will do or what exactly bibliometric analysis will do?
If anyone has any doubt or any question, you can ask via chat box. So
Yeah.
participant, if you have anything to ask, please write in your chat box, please.
I'm trying to make it very hands-on so that my purpose is very simple, that in the end of the session, whether it is a small session, but you must be able to write a review article based on it. And trust me, review articles writing is something, what I'm showing you is actually very best in our circumstances where we have less time and resources for data collection, because even I worked in Indian institutions for more than 10, 12 years. And I found it one thing that along with our teaching duties and admin duties, is very difficult to have resources and go for data collection. But at the same time, I have to write papers. So writing 1 or 2 or 3 review articles in a year just by sitting on your decks with a proven data set is actually very easy. First. Second, if you're going to see over a period of time, your article citation will improve, because anyone who is going to do a research in that area across the world, if you publish something in the area of the review article, then you're going to see over a period of time the citations will also improve very fast, because anyone is going to do research in that area, he will read your review article, because that is a summary of the work which you have done in last 15 years summary. So it becomes easy for other people to read that article and cite that article. So your citations get improved. We are able to write a review article sitting at our decks, because the data collection has almost no effort. You just type your uh, interest area in a Scopus or a Web of Science database, find out, get the CSV file, do it on the decks. So it's very easy to write a review articles. So okay. So what we can do is, I have that Excel sheet and I showed you the Airbnb sheet. Once we have that Excel sheet, I want a tool which is going to do some analysis on behalf of us. So I will just tell you a few of the conceptual part, then we will proceed to the link. Say, for example, I have 500 articles in front of me and I want to do analysis. So what type of analysis WAS can do for you? Say on the bottom of the right hand side, you're going to find the text data analysis. So WAS can do the text analysis for it. Say, for example, I got that 500 papers. So I want to do a text analysis of all the 500 papers with respect to analyzing all the abstract. So I want the software to do analysis of 500 abstract for me. So it can do. The same thing can be also done in what is written in the middle called co-occurrence. So what the tool can do for you, I got 500 abstract in front of me, and without even reading any of the paper on a prima facie basis, the tool will do a co-occurrence based on keywords. Say, for example, once we do a content analysis, a frequency analysis is a part of that. Say, for example, I want to see that which of the words are prominent across 500 papers. So the software will automatically read those 500 abstracts, are going to make us some one words, that which are the words which are being used in most of the paper. And now see, if you are going to get 100 words in cluster, I hope that many of you know cluster analysis in SPSS, you must have done. So this software will do a cluster analysis of keywords also. Say these are the 15 words which are together and they are mostly used in a paper. These are the 35 words which are together and mostly used in the paper. So if I'm going to get 4 clusters of repeated words, it is going to give me a very first hand idea of what are the prominent themes based on that word. Fine. And there is citation, bibliographic coupling, and co-citation. Uh, co-cite, when it comes of co-citation, say for example, there is my paper and say for example Professor Dharit paper. So if my paper and Professor Dharit's paper is cited by someone else, fine. So that is co-citation. So I'm going to see the strength of A and B with for that. And co-citation is very forward based. When I say forward based, because based on the co-citation analysis, you can see that how this particular theme have uh, evolved and will evolve over a period of time. Because see, if my paper and Professor Dharit paper is cited by X, but after 2 years, it would be cited by X, Y, and Z. After 5 years, it would be cited by X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D. So it means that every time I'm doing to go do a co-citation analysis, the results would be different in terms of number of years. If I'm going to do it today, only 3 people have cited our paper. But if I'm going to do a co-citation analysis 5 years down the line, then more people would have cited mine and Dharit's paper. So it means that the co-citation results will evolve over a period of time, will differentiate, and it shows it's a futuristic orientation. But when it comes to bibliographic coupling, it's like I have written a paper and Professor Dharit has written a paper, and we both have cited in our reference C, D, and E. So it means that bibliographic coupling is actually a retrospective assessment. It is not going to change. Even if I'm just going to do a bibliographic coupling after 3 years, but my paper have already written, Professor Dharit's paper is already written and published. It means that my reference, I got 50 reference and Dharit got 50 reference in his article. So it means that if we both has mentioned common articles in our reference, so this give a retrospective assessment of that my paper and Dharit's paper are somewhat related and in a common theme. So if my paper and Dharit's paper, although is in the same cluster, fine. Just to give you some more information on cluster, say for example, you take any topic, say for example, blockchain. Now a blockchain, if you're going to see just type blockchain and you might find 1,000 paper, but can I cluster blockchain paper? Say for example, there would be 200 paper on Google Scholar or Scoopers that talks about the technical side of blockchain, the science aspect. There would be 300 papers which are clustered together. Say for example, my paper or the Professor Dharit's paper, which are together, which talks about the policy side of blockchain. We are not discussing anything because, say for example, I myself, I'm a social scientist, so I will not talk about the technical side. So my paper will talk about, so my paper and Dharit's paper and all the other paper are in one cluster because we talk only about the policy side of that. There would be some small cluster that talks about the marketing side of blockchain, that if there is a new technology, we always talk about technology adoption, that how more people will adopt this technology. So marketing side of that paper. So clustering is like themes, that in blockchain research, there are 200 researchers who talk about science of blockchain. There are 400 researchers that talks about policy side of blockchain. There are 50 researchers in the world which talks about marketing side of blockchain. There are 200 researchers which talks about. So this is clustering. Say for example, we come to know in the end of the analysis, say for example, that which uh, which are the prominent themes in which the blockchain research is moving forward, the science side of it, art side of it. Within arts, then so that is clustering. So that's what I was saying, that bibliographic coupling is retrospective in nature, because our paper is already been published, so it is going to say that the references are common between my paper and, say for example, Dhari's paper. So it's retrospective in nature. But co-citation is futuristic in nature, because every time my paper and Dhari's paper will be cited by C, after 2 years it will be cited by 100 more people. So it will keep on changing every time we do a co-citation analysis. And citation analysis is just you can say an impact of author or article or publication. Fine. So that's it. So so this is a free tool, and this is, trust me, this is the most easiest tool uh, you must have seen in past. So those who have used, they know. Those who have not used, this is the most easiest tool. And trust me, you can write really good paper. My paper, which I have just shared, it got published in ABDC A. I have couple of more papers in A, which are review articles. So even the top journals, they prefer articles which are review articles written based on VOS Viewer. There are other tools also than VOS Viewer. There is UCI Net, there is Pejec, there is R also. R is also very easy. It's not coding based. I will show you in 5 minutes if time permits. But there are 4 or 5 tools which are very famous. You can use any tool, and this is the easiest one. So I'm just using this one. So what I'm doing is very plain and vanilla. Okay. So now this, I opened this tool VOS Viewer. And now see, what I'm going to do is very plain and simple. I'm just going to take you step by step, which is has no rocket science for which you need to be a statistician to understand it. So what I did is I just clicked on create, and here there are 3 options. Say for example, the third option is network data is the already VOS data, which is of not of that use at the present. Now we will use these two. Create map based on text data. So I said I started my class with 2 examples. The first was the Airbnb like text which we are going to have. The second is the papers. If I get 500, 600 paper and somebody, the tool will help me directly. So now you can see, choose this option to create co-authorship, keyword, co-occurrence, citation, bibliographic coupling, co-citation. So it means that if you need to do analysis of research papers, this is something where we are going to click. If we want to do analysis of text data, this is somewhere we are going to click. Fine. So if we want to have research paper for only abstract also, we can keep click over here. But say for example, I'm clicking here because first I want to do an analysis of all the research paper. So I clicked here. I went for next. And it is asking me, now see, this software gives you a lot of options to import data from. And these are all the options. I'm not going to get into each option. Some of you might be from the science side, some of you from the art side. So there's a lot of options, but I'm just going to use Cooper's Web of Science. See, if you are in social sciences or even in science area, Web of Science and Cooper's base is much more easy to get published. Say, for example, if I get something, a Wikidata or OCC or Even from Scholar, I can modify data from Google Scholar and import it. But the fact is that the moment you are going to get a Google Scholar data or a wiki data, trust me on it, it is going to be very difficult to get it published, because those are not peer reviewed thing. So my suggestion to you is that if you're writing something to get it published fast in a very good journal, always use Web of Science and Scopus. There would be no questions on why you have used this data set or why you have used this particular source. Okay, so because our data is from Scopus, I'm just going to click it on the first tab and make it next. So I'm doing nothing. And now see, Web of Science, Scopus, Dimension, Lens, PubMed. So my data is the Scopus data. So I'm just clicking on Scopus, and now it is asking me which file. So I'm just seeing that which file it is. So I'm just selecting my file. Fine. So my file is blockchain and education. I got 527 docs CSV. So I'm using this particular extension. So it's just I'm linking my file. I'm doing nothing. Fine. So it is reading my Scopus file. It might take few. Sometimes if your data set is of 2000, 3000, it will take some time to read. See, I will tell you something in the meantime it is reading. One of the best way to write paper is if you can get access to Web of Science and Scopus both. Download both the Excel file and consolidate both the files and make one final file. Although say my university got a Scopus access, I don't have Web of Science access right now, so I'm using that Scopus. But the fact is that if you are going to use both, it is the best thing, because there are few journals which are there in Web of Science but not there in Scopus. There are some journals which are there in Scopus but not there in Web of Science. So the thumb rule for that, if say for example, you are going to do a research in tech adoption or HR, say for example, whichsoever area you are trying to do research, try to identify which are the top 30 or top 50 journals in that area, and try to see that if all those top 50 journals are present in Web of Science or they are present in Scopus. Because generally sometimes what happened that once you write a review article based on Scopus, this is a common question that why haven't you used Web of Science? Then your answer would be very standard, that I looked for top 50 journals in HR in this particular area, and I found that all the top 50 journals are present in Scopus, so I use Scopus. Because if the reviewer is able to prove that in your area the best 5 journals or 8 journals are in Web of Science, then he's never going to validate my data because he will feel that this particular Excel file is not strong enough, because in your area the top 10 journals are there in Web of Science. So you just cross check whether to use Web of Science or whether to use Scopus. So now see what I'm doing right now. I got all the option: co-authorship, co-occurrence, citation, bibliographic coupling, co-citation. I said that we are going to co-citation is futuristic in nature, that I and Professor Dharit is cited by C, and which will keep on moving over a period of time. Bibliographic coupling is for past, because my paper and Professor Dharit's paper is now fixed. So fixed in the sense of references are common. So it is retrospective in nature. Fine, citation is for impact, and co-occurrence is like keyword. I want the software to do the analysis of all the abstracts. Say for example, all 524 abstract is in front of me, and say for example, I found out. Now look at here, minimum number of occurrence of a keyword. Out of the 3,311 keywords, only 161 keywords meet threshold. This means that I'm looking for only those words which have occurred minimum 5 or more than 5. Fine. Say for example, the moment I'm going to reduce to 4, it is going to be 227. The more we are going to reduce the keyword frequency, more number of words will get into the threshold. Say, for example, I keep it till 5 because 160 is also a good number to do the analysis. And now see, if I'm just going to click on finish, now analysis is in front of me. So now this is a beautiful thing because without reading even one article, all the abstract are being read, and based on the frequency, this diagram is in front of us. So this software has done a keyword analysis uh, for us. And now if you're going to see this beautiful diagram in front of us, you can find it some colors. Fine. And these colors are nothing but clusters. This software is so powerful that based on the link strength, they have automatically classified. So although we have 160, 170 words which are repeated in all the articles, but they have, based on the link strength, they have classified into clusters. Say, for example, if I go for green, so you can find these green is linked with, I got all blue together. Fine. So I got third color is orange, then red. So if you're going to see this tool, this is our output diagram where we are going to get. This is on the right hand side. We can do some size variation on, if you need, do not like this font size, we can change that. On the right hand side, we can the tab which you are going to see, we can see we can change some of the font size, or say, for example, cluster colors if we need to change or edit colors. But that is not our interest as of now. That is actually the beautification part, which you can anyway anytime do. So I have network visualization, I have overlay visualization. This overlay visualization is nothing but now they have categorized it based on its importance, based on impact. And again, the density visualization. We'll discuss network visualization more because this is something we use while writing a paper. Now, those who are finding any difficulty while visualizing this particular diagram, don't get confused because it looks beautiful, but it is complex to read. The best thing to read is go here to items. So once you click here to items, you are going to find that cluster 1 consists of these words. So these words are used again and again in all the papers, and they have something in common based on the link strength. I'm going to discuss about link strength also in just a couple of minutes. You can see, so how many clusters we have? 8 clusters. It means that we can summarize that the area of blockchain in education can be discussed in 8 different perspectives. When I was discussing started my session, I said that blockchain, few of the people can write for the policy perspective, some of the people can write from the marketing perspective, some of the people can write from tech adoption perspective, some people can write the science of blockchain in education. So now you can see that it got 8 clusters, and in 8 clusters, all the keywords are mentioned in front of us. Now see, once you are writing a paper, our objective is to give name to the theme. That is your contribution. Say, for example, with respect to that, say if you are going to see green computing, Internet of Things, IoT, M-Health, proof of concept, transparency. So can we name this cluster as you have done factor analysis or cluster analysis in SPSS? Ultimately, the factors that come out as an output, you read those questions which have clubbed together and you name that cluster or name that factor in SPSS. Same is like that. You read this word called, say, Internet of Things, IoT, M-Health, proof of concept, transparency. And now we can say that it's more of IoT, blockchain, and transparency. Fine. Use of IoT in blockchain, for transparency, which makes a lot of logical sense. Those anyone from the science background, you know that IoT devices got their own shortcomings, and actually now there is a lot of discussion which is happening that IoT devices got a lot of shortcoming, and IoT devices shortcoming can be fulfilled by use of blockchain, which makes a lot of theoretical sense also, that IoT devices are being backed by blockchain. So now, while you write a paragraph on it and you devise a theme like that, you will easily write a one paragraph on it, that how IoT can be complemented with blockchain in education, say for example, or any other sector. Fine. So this is where you read the keywords and find out a name for it, that what exactly suits it. Say for example, I will just stop it for a while, and I have given you a paper for reference. This is my paper which we have written a couple of years back. And now I will just show you, this is the same thing which we have done. No, this. Now see, this, if you're going to see this topic, intellectual structure of multi-generational workforce and contextualizing work values across generation and multi-stage analysis, the moment we type multi-generational workforce, I got paper from 1990s to 2018, 2019. Now I said that once you have 20-year paper, a 20-year paper would be definitely huge in number, but I need to do analysis. So what we did a trick. Fine. So what we did a trick is, once you're going to see this over here, I divided the Excel sheet which I just showed you for blockchain and education into two parts, from 2001 to 2009 and 2010 to 2018. So what we did, we put just a filter and divided a paper into two parts, 2011 to 2009, 2010 to 2018. Now I got like a block of 10 years each. And what we did, this is just a covert analysis, which we just saw. But the real analysis is, say, for example, here. So I said that based on theme in 2001 to 2009, it was more about communication between the workforce, generational characteristics, which was happening. And some research was happening with respect to nurses, generational diversity in education and nursing. But in the second part, 2010 to 2018, more research was into this part, this part, this part, this part. So this analysis we found out based on the clusters we got. So now this became easier for us to write a paper based on 2001 to 2009. So if there is an old topic on which that you are going to do research, there is a different way. We can go for thematic evolution, how the things went into first 10 years, second 10 year, third 10 year. Fine. And what we did is was the same, and we just created a lastly an integrated model based on it. Fine. Now, actually, one trick I will just tell you for this. There is, to some extent, we can do data cleaning, to some extent, like we do in a typical research also, that if you're some outliers, some data which is not making any sense for you. Now, in this particular thing, say, for example, if there is anything which doesn't make any sense for you, and you feel that this is, say, the word literature review. See, this literature review word is there in our covert, but I don't want this word. This word is not making sense with respect to, although this word is linked with systematic literature review, future research direction. But actually, these words in a typical blockchain in education research doesn't make sense. So generally what happens that if you're going to make a diagram like this, there would be always some word that will not make sense, and you don't want it in your final diagram. So don't get worried for it. The software also gives you a capability I will just do the same thing, repeat it again. Now here you can see all the words which are going to be in your final diagram. Fine. Say for example, we saw literature review. So if I am able to find literature review, so I found literature review here. So I will uncheck it. So I don't want literature review in the final diagram because that is not making a lot of sense in my research as of now. Fine. So if I just delete literature review, and so now at least I got systematic literature review. So I can go back and delete this also. I can systemic review. So what happens that if you need a small amount of data cleaning, that these are the words which are actually polluting my cluster, which doesn't make any sense. So you can uncheck those things so that in the final diagram, those things are not going to be. Now, I said that those who are finding any difficulty in reading it, so you can find it over here, these terms. Those who are finding any difficulty in writing paper with respect to this also, what you can do, you can go in the file, go and say the save part. Once you're going to save it over here, WAS viewer, go and say sample data for exercise. I got it, and rather than text file, got a CSV file. I say output for blockchain education. Fine, and I just want to save it. So if you're going to save that file, so now if you're going to see this Excel file, that this is actually some of you might have confusion that why these words are in red, why these words are in yellow. So now see, this is now a final output file which we have in Excel sheet. So what I can do, I can put just a clear filter over here, and now you can see that, say for example, I just want to see cluster 1. So if I just want to see cluster 1, these are the words in cluster 1 which we saw in the diagram also. And why these words are in cluster 1, you can see the total link strength. I can have the quantifiable total link strength. Fine. And I have the cluster. Generally, the total link strength we just see. So now this is much more quantifiable way of doing a literature review, where there are some words which are in cluster 1, and it is based on some algorithm where the total link strength has been mentioned, some scores are being mentioned, and now you just find a name to this particular cluster, and you can write a paper that the area of blockchain education can be understand with the help of 8 themes. These are the 8 themes. You just write those keywords, find out a theme out of it, and you can complete a paper based on it. Fine. And fine. And even if you want to do it again, I can go again to the same sheet, and you can do a co-citation analysis. Say for example, let's do a co-citation analysis. Say for example, I want to do a co-citation analysis of authors, and see, I will just finish. Fine. So it gives you how a diagram like this. So it have 5 clusters. So now these are the 5 clusters. So say for example, I'm not looking at the diagram, I'm just looking at which are the authors which are working together. They might not have written paper together, but this co-citation analysis will give you that. It means that, say for example, I will take the smallest cluster. Say for example, I got Lee X, Lu Y, Naji AW, Wang S, Zidane AA, and Zidane BB. So now these are the authors. Now in the Excel sheet, which is the main Excel sheet which is been imported, you just see which are the paper they have written together. Not together means which is the paper which they have written. So if you can see the title of all these 6 authors, you will find out a theme that these 6 authors generally write in the area of technology adoption and blockchain. If you're going to see these 120 papers, say for example, the Chen, Choi, Chung, Dai, Park, Schappels, Schemolander, if I'm just going to see these 20 papers in the main Excel file, and you see the title of the paper, you will come to know that these 20 authors generally write in the area of, so that is also a way of writing themes. Fine. Now see, the difference between the covert theme and a co-citation and bibliographic coupling theme, now it's very easy to understand. When it comes of covert, these are random words and you are giving your justification that what is the theme. But this is a very proven way, co-citation and bibliographic coupling, because you already have the paper name in front of you and you find out that these all 10 authors or 6 authors write in the area of this. Because the moment you're going to see the title of the paper, you will immediately come to know that these all 6 authors are similar with respect to writing in the area of X of blockchain and education. They write in the marketing side of blockchain education. These write the science of blockchain and education. So this way I got 5 cluster. And what your homework as a author is, you read this. Say for example, the cluster 1 is having 58, so read these 58 papers title, only the title, and try to visualize that all these titles are more or less talking about this. Fine. So fine. Say, for example, we wrote a paper a few years back on corporate university, co-citation and cluster analysis. So although we use a different tool, but all the tool, the basic premises are same. So if you're going to see, these are, we use WAS for this. If you're going to see, this is the diagram in case of our analysis, corporate university. And if you're going to see that these are the different colors that they have written paper together. Fine. Although we got a co-citation matrix and we imported in SPSS and we did some SPSS also. This is a similar output, but this is from a different tool called UCI net. But this is also the same thing. It divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 cluster in front of me, and this V is actually the paper. So what we did, we read all the papers, title and abstract, say V125, V22, V27, V200, V. So I read, say for example, C4, and we came to a conclusion that C4, all the paper talk about the corporate university paradigms and models. We read all the abstract and title of this C2, and we came to a conclusion that corporate C2 talks about, all the paper talk about corporate university, a layered concept. It's very confusing concept. It's a different author said. So this way we have named everyone, and what we have done is a very simple thing. If you're going to see, the cluster 1 talks about this. We have written one paragraph. And now try to visualize one thing. Once you're writing co-citation or bibliographic based paper, writing is more easier. Why? Because I have just wrote a paragraph and I even don't need to be concerned for the citation, because in writing one cluster 1, the citation of Blas, Homanen, Macpherson, Deltry, these citation where I don't need to find it, because already in my co-citation analysis, these are the cluster 1 paper. So I have to only cite these paper only. I cannot cite anything else. So writing is even much more easier than writing a research paper, because I have to just read these 20 papers and write a paragraph based on it. Fine. Same goes with, so once I'm going to do a co-citation analysis, you already know that If the moment you are going to write about cluster 1 one paragraph on cluster 5, say for example, you only have to cite this 6 authors. You cannot cite the 7th author because your cluster is based on these 6 authors. So writing becomes much more easier. I just need to read their abstract, write one paragraph of my own, and just cite these 6 authors. That's because the theme is based on these 6 authors. The writing is much more easier. Same goes with co-citation, same goes with bibliographic coupling. That you have, but once you are writing a co-occurrence based, say for example, again I will go, say for example, if I am just going to write an article based on co-occurrence, then it's a different game. If I'm just writing based on co-occurrence, then here there is no author. Here there is only words. So what you can do here is your creativity. You can use recent papers and some old famous paper which is cited highest and write own way of writing in which you can cite anyone. So once you are writing something on co-citation bibliographic coupling, use the same authors which are there in the cluster. Once you're writing a paragraph based on the co-word analysis, this is your creativity. You can write a paragraph, cite anyone you wish, which is more linked with that particular cluster. Okay. Any questions for it before I shift to text analysis?
Participant, if you have any questions regarding the topics the sir has covered so far, so you can ask via chat box, please.
See, when I was very new in academics, that was a time where I have attended the maximum number of workshops. But trust me, that was a time I have written the least number of papers. So the more you are going to reflect on, just attend 2 workshops in a year. Now I attend just 1 or 2 workshops in a year, reflect on those workshops, and I have a pledge like these 2 workshops, and now I would like to have an output paper based on the workshop that I attended in 2021. So because ultimately we have to write something, and in the end of the workshop if we are not able to write a paper, it means that that workshop is of not much use for us. Now see, the only toughest part, which is not that tough in your case, would be finding, some of your institution might be having a Scopus database, but if you don't have Scopus database, most of the university have Scopus database. And trust me, when I was in Gujarat for 5 years, the easiest thing in getting Scopus and Web of Science, uh, I used to have a library membership of IMA. So the best thing is go to IMA. If you are a faculty or a researcher, you can get a membership. I used to go every month, get my Scopus or Web of Science file, come back. So, but getting a Web of Science or Scopus access now is not that difficult. Tool, actually, if this tool was viewer, we have more tool like UCI net, then R. Fine, then UCI net, R, PEJEC are more tool. I will show you something. I have time. Yeah. In the meantime, you have any questions, please feel free to shoot out any question.
Sir,
I will
Mr. Coverage wants to know that can he implement this technique to analyze the drug sentiment? This is the question he has asked.
uh, okay. I will just answer the question by showing you something. Yeah. See, the only thing that you have once you want to write a paper is you have to find whether what his keywords was, drug sentiments.
Drug sentiments.
Can you write in the chat box what exactly that word is?
He has written already in the chat box that the
Okay.
drug sentiments.
Sorry.
Mr. Tabre.
Just a minute. Uh, See, Tabriz, the only thing that you need to take care of is once you search on Scoopus, you should be lucky to find sufficient paper. Say, for example, because these are two words, drug different, sentiment different, so I'm putting it in an inverted comma and putting it. Okay. Now see, the moment I type drug sentiments, I'm just able to find four paper. But definitely, Tabriz, there would be several other keywords also which I'm not able to analyze, because drug sentiments uh, can be, there would be some other keywords also. Say, for example, if I put drug different and then I add sentiment over here, you should find just 100, minimum 100 papers on it. Now this, if I put drug and sentiment differently, I'm able to find some paper, but you just have to read in a very blurred way to understand that whether this all paper belong to your area or not. Fine. So I got 413 paper. Even if you are going to read the title of the paper and shortlist that whether they belong to drug sentiments or not, even I'm going to deselect 200 paper which is not of my area of drug sentiment, then finally I need 100 papers for making for finding some good connections, which makes sense. But I will tell you a very shortcut which I always write, because drug sentiment is not my area, so I will not comment on it. But write a paper which is a very hot topic. Trust me on it. The moment it is a very hot topic which is currently prevailing in the market for last 1 or 2 years, say for example, write something on machine learning and blockchain in education, or something which is happening in your area, so the editor will do a fast track review, because he also knows that if the review paper publishes in my journal, there would be more citation. More citation is good for the author, good for the journal, good for the publisher, so it get will published very fast. But if it is an old topic, which where the first paper is coming in 2010 or 2005 3, or you have a huge base of 400 paper, so those papers are good, but publication takes time. And we also know that I have currently papers which are in review for last 1 year. So currently we need papers also which get published bit fast, so a hot topic get published very fast. So we got 413 documents. Even if we are going to refine, we will get easily 150 documents. Okay. Shall we do research for getting citation? See, this is a very philosophical topic, Sashi, for which it's just like somebody asking me मोक्ष कैसे मिलेगा, तुम्हें लगता है कि जो कर्म कर रहे हो उससे मोक्ष मिलेगा, sort of like that. Means it's a very philosophical topic, but yes, that completely say contributing to society in some way, definitely it happens. Say for example, now for last 2 years I'm writing more on sustainability and tech adoption, but I feel that any paper that you're writing, especially in a good journal, fine, people are reading. Ultimately, where this citation is coming, people are reading your work. People are citing your work because it is important for their paper to cite your work. So the more citations is coming, I feel that there is some, say for example, I wrote a couple of papers long back, but it didn't cross even 10 citations. So if nobody is reading your work in terms of and acknowledging your work in terms of citation, there is uh, something I find it difficult to digest. But if more people are reading your work, citing your work, that this is a significant work Shashi has done, so it means that you are contributing to society or in some way. And definitely, see, uh, I don't know, because there's a long discussion, but ultimately, I'm a postdoc fellow. In long run, I will be also getting some faculty position over here. And once you are going for applying for faculty position anywhere in the world, they look for your profile, where the type of journals you have published, people who have cited. Even in universities in Canada and US, they say that if your work is being used by industry, do you have any impact that your paper, if there is any industry which is going to say that I was able to attain something because I read Shashi's paper. So here there is separate weightage on when industry says that I read Shashi's paper. So that is also doing a impact some way. So we get extra marks and weightage of when industry gives weightage on your paper. So I think so. Writing is you are writing on contemporary topic. It always uh, contributes to society in some way, and definitely, ultimately, money, job. This is something important for us. So it's good for us that way also. Okay. So now I just want to show you something very interesting. Now, this is something uh, a tool R. People are scared of R because it is a uh, coding base. But this becomes much more easy, because the moment you are going to do the same analysis in R, you do not need any coding. Say, I'm just going to take just 1 minute of all of you, just because if you're just going to see what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything right now. I've just opened the R tool in Bibliometrics, and I just want to CSV file, and I just want to CSV file it over here. I'm using the same file, blockchain education, because the R will give you a lot of other capabilities also. Fine. I don't know what is the error in. Can I get any other file? So this R is not like the typical R that we use. We need no coding. It's a pure website link which will open. And if I need to get any thematic evolution, say for example, I just go and see how the area of this paper has evolved over a period of time. So this is a fine. So we'll get some time slice 1, time slice 2. So the moment you are going to use BiblioShiny, I will write it in the. So this is even if you are going to use. Fine, it is very easy to use. Fine. Now, say for example, the text-based data. I got again a WAS file in front of me. Say for example, WAS corpus. Okay. Again, I'm repeating the same process, but I got Airbnb reviews in front of me. I said that I showed you in the beginning that I got Airbnb reviews. So you can get reviews from Facebook, you can get reviews from Twitter or anywhere. And now I just want to use the abstract field and say, for example, I want to finish. Oh, I didn't. Just a minute, I didn't share that time, I think so. So now see, if I just want to go for the text-based data, I went to next. Again, the file is from Scopus, say for example, I selected the same file of Airbnb. And now you can see. So based on the text data of 2000 customers is in front of me, and the 2000 customers have the review of 2000 customers once they stay in an Airbnb apartment is in front of us. And now if I'm just going to see the items, you can find it over here. So in total, the 2000 customers review can be divided into just 6 clusters. Okay. So now if you're going to see Bay, Breeze, Carne family, center, coffee, common area, convenience, everyone, family, first time, house, living room, master bedroom, muffin, red line, self-check. So in this way, these are the clusters. Say, for example, that most of the customers in customer cluster 6, they have talked about these things. Now you can identify a theme based on these keywords and find out that improvement in the area of X. Fine. So this is way you can do a text analysis also. Fine. So what we have learned so far is a bibliometric analysis, where we can analyze a list of papers and a list of reviews. Okay, Tabrez has asked a very good question, which I forgot to share. See, Tabrez and all the other participants, when we downloaded the Excel file from VOS Viewer, we discussed something on link strength, that this particular author got link strength of X, or we were able to see in the Excel file, or this particular word got a link strength. Even if I'm just going to find out from here, just a minute again. So the link strength, bigger the link strength, bigger the letter. So this actually, the small and big size of the letter, fine. This house word in the blue one, if you see only this, say for example, the red one or blue one, so the house word is the biggest because maybe the link strength is the biggest. So among all the other words in say for example the house word, house cluster, house got the highest weightage in terms of the link strength. Same goes with, so if you're going to see it over here, you won't get to know. But if you are going to download, say for example, save, no, I already have a save document for that. So if you're going to see, say for example, the blockchain in education example that we already gone through, I have a link strength of this for 1604 or for blockchain word. So once you will be running the same test again, you will see the blockchain word will have the biggest circle because the link strength. So this also means, Tabrez, that there would be some words where the link strength is just 13 or 14 or very less. So if the link strength is very less, you can find the word in Excel sheet, but it might happen that you won't find it in the diagram because the link strength is so small that the word is not reflecting in the diagram, but the word would be definitely reflecting in your Excel sheet because the link strength was less. Only those words which are in higher in link strength are being depicted in the software, which makes a lot of sense because it's the software output which we are going to copy paste in the research paper. So once we are going to paste the diagram in a research paper, it is more clear for any reader to understand because it is only mentioning those words with, or those authors with high link strength. I hope you're able to understand. So it's what you said is completely right, that big and small is based on the link strength, but we must always download the Excel file to get a bigger idea on it. Okay, so I have actually I'm just trying to post this file so that you can do something, but I don't know why this Excel file I'm not able to. Okay, so I have posted you three files, especially blockchain in education, because we just have run that document. So before I have just around 30 minutes remaining. But in the meantime, I can show you more uses of it, how you can, especially while writing a paper. Anyone of you got questions, or anyone of you can immediately run this particular Excel file in your tool and got any questions to shoot, please feel free. So no question is a small question. So just shoot anything that you wish regarding content analysis and writing a bibliometric paper, whether it's the writing side or whether it's the software side. I would be happy to help you for both. So writing 2-3 bibliometric paper in a year is actually very, very good. Personally, I'm not writing bibliometric paper because now we have different center agenda we need to comply, but I love writing bibliometric paper, at least 1 or 2 in a year for your area, means whatever area you belong to. See, Shashi, actually, VOSViewer is a data visualization tool only. So can you be a bit more precise which type of data? Because once you see VOSViewer website, VOSViewer is nothing but a data visualization tool. So which type of data you're talking about? Actually, Shashi, once you do analysis with the help of VOSViewer, UCI, these are, yeah, actually, this is network analysis only. So technically, once we teach this course, I used to teach in a PhD program in Narsimonji once I was associated with Narsimonji. So this is known as network analysis. And when I say networking, countries interconnected in trade, I will show you something. If I will use the same data of blockchain again, you can see co-authorship based on organization, countries, if I'm able to get something. Fine. So it gives me a lot of other scope also, that which country is writing paper, which country, that United States is correct, writing, had collaboration with India, Australia, South Korea, United Kingdom, China, Canada, UAE. So it gives me the connectedness of different countries with respect to writing paper in blockchain and education. Also, what I can do is organization. I can have, fine. So which are the most prominent one? The Department of Software Engineering. I need to get more detail on it by looking at the Excel file. But which are the prominent departments which are doing more research in this area? So you can do a lot of analysis with respect to it. See, Tabriz, once you're writing a paper, I'm just going to explain it with the help of once you are writing a paper, how you should write it with respect to the matter. There are various things which this tool can do. Generally, it has been preferred that if you're doing a qualitative study, say for example, you're going to do interviews for your area, say for example. So if you do a co-occurrence analysis, fine, finding a keyword, finding a theme, and then asking those people that on these themes, what is your idea on it? So this would be a multi-level qualitative paper, which will have a lot of weightage. Say, for example, I just show you my multi-generational paper. Say, for example, which are the questions I should ask my respondent? Although I can find some paper and adopt some of the scales or some of the qualitative questions also, but the novelty won't be there. So actually, once you write a paper and you want to use was and do a qualitative investigation, so if you want to do a research in an area where you can do a covert analysis, like a co-occurrence analysis, go for a co-occurrence analysis, find out a theme, and once you find out the theme, ask 50 people or 100 people in that area that these are the themes, what is your input on that? And based on that input, you again make a diagram or your findings, say for example. So that would be a very wonderful multi-level qualitative paper. And if you're going to see a paper which I have posted, I've posted just a minute. So if you're going to see this paper of mine, this is exactly what I said. Say, because covert, the problem with covert is it is your explanation. So based on covert, people are writing paper on a very contemporary topic. One of my friend, she wrote a paper in COVID times on based on covert analysis, which got published in a very top journal, and she got more than 300, 400 citation in just 6 months. So people do like this also, but getting it published becomes a bit difficult because it is just a covert analysis and there would be a lot of subjectivity. So my recommendation is that once you are going to write analysis based on covert analysis, fine, and Tabriz, writing a paper for covert analysis is comparatively more easier, and there is no rocket science for it, because you just need to see all the keywords which comes in one cluster, and you just need to write a paragraph based on your understanding. So covert got a lot of subjectivity because the same words Shashi is going to see, he's going to write his own understanding on those words. Maybe you will write or Dharit will write in his own understanding. So there can be subjectivity. So that subjectivity I'm suppressing with the help of a second level of qualitative investigation where I'm asking 100 people, and the paper which I have just attached is exactly doing the same. So this paper will publish in any of the top journals because the subjectivity in the study one, you are complementing it with a study two, which is actually a interview based then. And the interview question is what your covert themes are. So covert theme got 4 themes. So I will ask those 4 questions and try to find interconnections with the help of it. Fine. So a research design based on it will click. And if you're going to see the second paper, or you can see if you can just go for a co-citation and bibliographic coupling, just go for co-citation and bibliographic coupling, and you can write one paper. Then in that paper, you do not need to do anything else. Say, I will say I showed you this paper, that this paper based on that co-citation analysis, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fine, 5 clusters. I just named those clusters, and like co-citation analysis, they got authors. So I just have to write one paragraph each. I said that cluster 1 is this, and so I write 2 paragraphs on that. Cluster 2, I write 2 paragraphs. So this is the way you can write. So take co-citation and bibliographic coupling, you can write a paper. Just go for covert analysis and complement it with some qualitative more study and make it a multi-level study, and that also can be published in any of the good journal like that. I hope I'm able to answer your question. If you got any more specific question, then you can shoot it. Anyone else got any question? Okay, I will take a minute if you can reflect on any question. Otherwise, I will show you an extension of WAS for more qualitative investigation. Okay, say for example, for a new researcher, non-PhD, what would be advised to use this as an effective way? See, if you are a new researcher, Indril, and you are not PhD, so I'm assuming that you want to do PhD. Uh, if you want to do a PhD, my advice to you is find out an area in which you want to do a PhD. Say, for example, you defined the area. Fine. Once you define the area, one of the best way to defend your entire area is start writing review paper on it. Yeah. So once you are going to write one or two review paper in the area in which you want to do your PhD, trust me on it, even once you are going to do your coursework, if you are in India, you will have more clarity on your topic as compared to anyone else. Because actually, I will tell you, even once we were doing our PhD, the first thing that we do is find out find out research gap. The easiest way of finding research gap is try to read 200 papers, or the easiest thing is try to read 10 review papers, because review paper, the ultimate objective is the same, that in your conclusion you are going to write which is where the area is growing and what are the gaps in which the researchers need to do the research. So most of the good literature review paper, if you're going to see, in the end the author talks about this is the co-citation analysis, this is the citation and bibliographic coupling, and the future direction of research is this XYZ ABCD. So based on the clusters that you're going to have, you suggest the future direction in each cluster, that what are the researchers need to do in order to understand that research area better. So it means that even if you're a new researcher and non-PhD, you start writing a review paper, your clarity in that area would be outstanding. So I found it even more interesting if you have not done your PhD and you start writing review paper for the area in which you wanted to complete your PhD in the times to come. Okay, so now I have some time and you have less questions. Generally, it happens in my class. I thought that you people are going to shoot too many questions to complete my session. Okay, so I will take just 15 minutes because I have time. So I will just tell you an extension of WAS. I'm going to give you a circumstance. Say, for example, I have a speech, a long speech of leaders, CEOs. Now, see, a speech analysis is also can be done in WAS by doing the text analysis, but speeches are long. Say, for example, those in the finance area, say, for example, in annual report, the CEO's speech is there in the first 3 pages. You're going to find the CEO's speech where he talks about the current, he talks about bit of how the current year went and how he's looking forward to the future. So I got, say, for example, 50 companies in a particular area. I got their annual report. From the annual report, I have the speech of CEOs of all 50 companies in front of me. And I want to see that in the previous year, the speech that he has given got correlation with the output in terms of the productivity, or in terms of the sales, whether it was real impact on the sales based on the speech that he has given last year. So now see, this is actually very tricky questions. Once you are going to listen this proposition, this is actually very good. Some of the very good paper in SMJ is based on it. I'm saying that the speech is qualitative, but the sales figure is number. How can we find a correlation between a number and a qualitative speech? Fine. My second question or the thought is, say, for example, I did a text analysis in front of you, which gave me 15 clusters or 8 clusters. But some of you in this session might argue that can we have more precise way to do analysis, because I don't want to name these clusters. I just don't want a text analysis in a very simpler way. I don't want to do further research in understanding how these clusters comprehend in terms of naming those clusters. So there are some more tools to it. Although because I got time, you are asking less questions, so I will just show you one small demonstration and then we are going to close this session. Uh, this tool is Diction, Diction. Although it is a paid tool, but actually you can do with even the demo version, you can do a lot many things in Diction without even purchasing the real version. Say, for example, this is Diction in front of me, and I am talking that a CEO is giving a speech. The moment I'm going to go to sample projects, there is a lot of sample projects in front of me. Fine. Say, for example, I just take anything, say nutrition report. Fine. So say, for example, this is a sample report, but assume that this is a speech of a CEO, say, for example. Although why this particular tool, even the demo software is very important, very useful, is once I go to nutrition report, I need to go to edit file. Once I will go to edit file, if you're able to see, I can edit the whole thing. Fine, I can edit the whole thing. So it doesn't mean even if you are in a sample report, you can go edit and paste it anything that you like, you want to do the analysis. So even on the demo software, you can do a lot many things. So now this is a speech, say, for example, in front of me. Assume, although you can edit and put it anything which is a speech of a CEO, and I can go for a standard analysis. Fine. So I just want to make it much more easier to compare viewer. So now if you're going to see, the speech is total words analyzed is 1659, total character analyzed is 1024. Fine. Average word size is 5.04. And now see, this software is what they do. They will have a value assigned to it. So in this speech, say, for example, ambivalence, self-reference, tenacity, leveling term. So what they have, this software is so powerful that they have their own dictionary. Say, for example, praise, that the CEO is praising his team, say, for example, or the company he's praising. So all the synonyms of praise which is there in the text, they will find all equivalents. So like the covert analysis that you are going to do, boss do not have a dictionary. So it will repeat the words which are, it will say sad, sorrow, grief. All the three words, the meaning is same, but VOS is going to give you three different circles for it, three different link strength for it, because VOS is based on frequency analysis. It is just going to see the frequency of the word sorrow in all the paper, grief in all the paper. But this tool will find out praise or satisfaction and all the other words in which means satisfaction. The dictionary will automatically find all the other words which will is like satisfaction, and it will mix together automatically. So that is even more better way. Fine. And these are all the more than 50 terms in which you want to do the analysis. And say, for example, diversity. So all the words in this particular passage which works like diversity, they will combine together and give a score of this. Fine. And the last, actually, this is actually the 4-5 term in which the software gives analysis. These 50 is actually combined again in activity, optimism, certainty, and realism and commonality, and they give a score. So now see, the best part of Diction is they give a quantitative score of a qualitative speech. And now if you want to see the CEO speech and the impact on the sales, so sales is a number, and optimism, say, for example, how optimist he is and his impact on the sales in the next year. So optimist score, I have 51.43. Now you can do a correlation analysis between 51.43 and the sales which got happened in the next year. So you will find out that to what extent the CEOs are optimist in their annual report, and what is the correlation of this optimist with respect to the actual sales which got happened. So now is a qualitative correlation with a quantitative thing, which makes sense. And this is actually a bit different than the WAS, because WAS will give you just the frequency analysis, but this diction got its own dictionary, and it will find out all the equivalent terms and mix it all together. Okay, so I got 10 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. No issue. Please.
Okay, so I'm done with my shit. So we studied content analysis and bibliometric, and content analysis we studied through WAS and diction, and I showed you a bit of R also. Although R can do many, and this R is not coding based R, so you don't need to understand coding. You just go for bibliometric, download R, and you once put a code, you will get to a link where you can do anything. You don't need to do even a one line of coding. It is actually very automated. Okay. Please ask me any questions with respect to writing paper on qualitative, content analysis, or even in general for quantitative, even for writing papers, if you can say, because now I'm in a full-time of job of writing paper.
Uh, uh, yes, sir. Now it's a request to dignitaries to ask a question related to topic. Sir, given a wonderful information on the qualitative research. But if you have a question, anything related to our topic, so please ask to question. Please write in a chat box. I can pass on the question. Otherwise, you can directly ask the question. It's a humble request to our today's kind audience. Please, if you have any question related to topic, so you can ask directly your question to Honorable Sushil sir. Can you tell about music?
Actually, Lal Bihari. Actually, when it comes of musical speech or anything which is being spoken, actually, there is one tool. I forgot that tool's name. Actually, there are tools for it also, musical speech. But actually, I will tell you something that most of the voice recorded speech based analysis that we do, they are not AI driven. So once it is not AI driven, it is has a lot of manual intervention. Say for example, we just got gone for VOS or R, or we see saw diction where things are automatically done. I did once NVivo. Okay. So NVivo do this speech-based test also. So once you are going to have a voice speech, say for example, somebody has speaking something and you have recorded something. So NVivo have that capability that you can put that recorded speech in that. But the bad part is that they are not AI driven that do the analysis for you. So what happens that once you are going to upload a speech of someone who is recorded speech, say MP3 or MP4 format in NVivo, so what it will do, you have to listen to the speech, and the software will gives you capability that the first 3 minutes talks about sadness. So generally what happens that you must have your coding ready, that I'm going to evaluate every this speech which is been in an MP3 format in these 5 parameters. Say for example, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, say for example. So once you listen the first 3 seconds or 4 seconds, 5 seconds of the audio, you name it at X. Then so it got a lot of manual intervention. So although the best thing is that once you are able to do it for 50 videos or 50 audios, whether it's a video or whether it is an audio, and NVivo does everything for you, but you have to manually do it. And once you have manually put the coding for all of the speeches, then once you're going to click enter, then it's going to give you a detailed analysis of what you have done in all those 50 videos or audios. So it is not AI driven, so you have to do some homework on it, which takes a lot of time.
Yes, we got a response again from the same person. I'm going to start my kid's musical class with the teacher who teach my kid. What type of, sir, a new question is there, what type of metrics we can use to evaluate our results finding?
See, when it comes to writing a paper which is review based,
Yes.
your result is just the co-citation or the citation and the description, the 2 paragraph description that we are going to give. That is sufficient. We just put the diagram of co-citation or citation analysis, write the description, and if you're going to see some good papers or literature review, the conclusion or discussion goes up to future direction. That if you got 6 clusters, if any researcher who is going to read your paper would be also interested that these 6 themes that you have recommended or you have found in literature review, how this 6th theme is going to evolve over a period of time. So in most of the literature review papers that you're going to find on online in the top journals, your your results is just the cluster and your discussion is the future themes which you expect researchers to go for in all the 6 clusters, and then your paper is done. So it's very qualitative in nature, but along with that you have a quantifiable backup to it because it's based on the data that you retrieved. So it is a qualitative test. You can say a literature review seems qualitative, but once you do a bibliometric, it is a lot of sciences behind what you're going to write. I hope I'm able to answer your
Yes, sir.
question, Tabriz.
Yes, sir. Yeah, please, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. Uh, Now, again, a humble request as a last call to all the attendees to please, if you have a question, you can present your question. You can write your question in a chat box so we can sort out the your queries. Okay. Uh, sir, we got a new question. How to find top journal in commerce accountancy?
See, Jayesh, the most easiest way is if you are targeting, I don't know which journals you are targeting, but I will tell you at the moment it is top journal, there is something called FT50. Just type on Google FT50 uh, FT50 journals. I was not able to write. Oh, sorry, everyone. Just type on Google FT50 journals. And FT50 are the top 50 journals. See, FT50 journals are very powerful. Very honestly and blunt, if you get one paper in FT50 journals, you can get any B schools across any college in the world. Means FT50 journals are so powerful that so FT50 journals just type, and there are for all categories there is 1 or 2 journals for it. So for accountancy also there is 1 or 2 journals. So once you're reading FT50 journals, that are the best. Second way is go for second is go for ABDC rankings. If you go for ABDC ranking, you would go visit a website of ABDC ranking in which you can only select A-star journals. A-star journals are the top journals. So either go for FT50, you will find 2-3 journals, but in A-star journals of ABDC ranking, you are going to find 7-8 journals of your area. So cloud version, I don't see. Actually, Tabriz, honestly, for writing a literature review, I maybe I was lucky to find papers. You can find 2000 papers, and still 2000, 3000 papers in a particular area you can run in was or R. It successfully runs. But if you got some other objective of text analysis, then even I need to see some cloud version, because I don't have idea for cloud version. But still I have run uh, a data set of 2000, 3000. It works perfectly. It takes bit time, but it runs perfectly. But maybe big data, I am sure that R could handle, but may not be was or project maybe. But I need to find out, because I have never run any big data on for literature review as of now. But R, I am sure that it would be able to handle big data.
Okay. Right now, though, we don't have any another question, so we are going to close today's session. Uh, Thank you very much, sir. 1 week online international faculty development program on research methodology jointly organized by Department of Human Resource Development, Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, and managed JZ Shah and HP Desai Commerce College, Amroli College, Surat. I, Ritesh Agrawal, principal of Kachira Vidya Bhavan, Uttarakhand, personally and personally thank you, sir. You given such wonderful information on qualitative research. Really, in this is the fifth 1 day. So in this 5 days, we got superb and all information at a very perfect way, very easy way. So we'll use this information. Our audience will use this information for the development and betterment of the research. So, with the positive note, we are going to close this session. So, thank you very much, sir. Personally, on my behalf, I'm thanking you, sir, because you given all the information, even at a practical way, also. So, thank you very much, sir. From Veer Narmad South Gujarat University and from the college on behalf of college also, we are very much thankful to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the invitation. And when I started my career in academics, specifically in research, I used to listen session
Yes,
of Kiran Pandya sir and Gaurang Rami sirs. And
yes,
it's my proud privilege to share a platform where they both are there. So please convey my regards to Kiran Pandya sir and Gaurang
sure.
uh,
Sure, sure.
Rami
Tomorrow we
sir.
have a session of Dr. Gaurang Rami, sir.
Yeah. And by all, and just right, see, I worked in Indian institution also, so I know that we have a lot of teaching, we have a lot of admin, but research is give you a separate level of satisfaction. My
Yeah,
guide always used to say कि अपना नाम छपा हुआ देखना ना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So it's
जी,
just like that. Once you start doing, and especially once you start publishing in good journals, trust me, it is going to it's a 1 plus 1 11 effect, that once you publish one paper, it will give you more motivation and energy to write second paper, then third paper. And just one last shortcut, which I will collaborate with good authors and write papers. That is going to make your job
right,
easier. Many of us, when I started my career, I don't write paper. I feel that statistics is everything, and I need to read a lot of statistics. Who really cares? Just get a second author who is good in statistics. Just get a third author who is very good in having have a publication track record. So just make some good team and just run.
right,
All the
right.
best. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.